A quiet clink on a wooden table ignites a spark of excitement. A single nickel, minted in the early 21st century, slips into view. Its unassuming surface belies a tale of design quirks, minting anomalies, and unexpected premiums. Today's journey will focus first on the 2001 USA Jefferson nickel, a coin that can transform from pocket change into a prized collectible with the right knowledge and a keen eye. Every coin carries a story that begins long before it reaches circulation. In the spring of 2001, the United States Mint in Philadelphia struck Jefferson nickels featuring the familiar profile of the nation's third president. This portrait, originally introduced in 1938, was sculpted by Felix Schlag and has since carved its own niche in American numismatics. By 2001, production embraced modern techniques, yet surprise errors continued to materialize. Enthusiasts find that these early 2000s pieces, often dismissed at face value, hold hidden layers of history when examined closely. The portrait of Thomas Jefferson floats above the word liberty, followed by a delicate date inscription. Flanking the reverse side, a graceful rendition of Monticello offers symmetry and depth. At first glance, the design seems consistent, but small variations can multiply its worth. A double die obverse, for example, manifests as a slight ghosting around the president's jawline or the lettering "In God We Trust." These errors occur when a die strikes the planchet twice in misaligned fashion, creating a doubled image that collectors prize. Within circulated specimens, these doubled dies may require magnification to detect. Under bright light and magnifying glass, the extra outlines shimmer just beneath the primary impression. Mint state examples, struck straight from pristine dies, reveal doubling with such clarity that they dazzle under loupe inspection. It is this subtle interplay between design intent and mechanical accident that elevates a nickel from everyday currency to a conversation starter among seasoned collectors. Market value for a standard 2001 Philadelphia Mint nickel usually hovers just above face value when circulated. Many pass through commerce at 5 cents without a second look. Yet a finely preserved specimen graded MS 66 or higher by a reputable service like PCGS can command upward of $20. Auction records illustrate this point vividly. A PCGS MS 67 2001 P. Jefferson nickel with pronounced doubling once sold for more than $100, reflecting enthusiastic bidding among specialized error collectors. Beyond double dies, another category of errors adds intrigue to 2001 nickels. Off-center strikes reveal incomplete images, where portions of Monticello or Jefferson's profile abruptly vanish off the planchet edge. These off-centers occur when a blank planchet shifts between the collar and the die, striking off its intended axis. The greater the misalignment, the higher the collectible value. A 10% off-center example might fetch $50, whereas extreme misalignments exceeding 40% can climb into the hundreds, especially in pristine condition. Contrastingly, fully aligned coins with die scratches or planchet flaws intrigue a niche audience. A die crack, a thin, raised line across the coin's surface, can develop after heavy use of the die at the mint. Collectors catalog these subtle abrasions, known as die breaks, assigning them unique numbers for reference. The die crack on a 2001 nickel might stretch from the lower rim, passing through Monticello's entrance, transforming an ordinary strike into a traveling exhibit of minting mechanics. Historical footnotes add color to this narrative. The year 2001 marked a period of transition at the United States Mint, with increasing emphasis on modernizing equipment, while unintentional errors provided a nostalgic bridge to older collecting eras. The Jefferson nickel itself stood at 63 years of continuous production, yet each annual release carried fresh potential for anomalies. A few well-preserved specimens even exhibit doubling so crisp that they blur the line between error and intentionally minted novelty. Auction calendars show periodic spikes in demand for 2001 error nickels, particularly when specialist dealers highlight them at national conventions or in online forums. Bidding wars erupt, driving final prices well beyond initial estimates. A well-documented eBay sale in 2023 saw a near-centering error nickel attract bids from both U.S. and international collectors, ultimately closing at over $80. Such cross-border competition underscores a growing global appetite for seemingly mundane yet rare American coinage. Of course, condition plays a pivotal role. A circulated 2001 nickel with light or may still boast a faint doubling ghost, visible only under close scrutiny. These exist in the $1 to $5 range, depending on the clarity of the mistake. In contrast, a specimen graded MS, 65 full steps, indicating fully defined steps on Monticello's dome, can break the $50 threshold when paired with a clear double die or significant off-center strike. Grading nuances matter greatly. Mint state grades begin at MS 60 and ascend to MS 70. Each numerical jump can double or triple a coin's value. For 2001 nickels, the majority cluster between MS 60 and MS 63, but war room auctions for MS 66 or higher examples sometimes push values into the hundreds. Collectors aiming for top-tier examples often seek coins with full peripheral detail, no distractions from surface marks, and vivid luster that reflects light in concentric waves. Oddities beyond doubling and off-centers also surface. Some planchets bear clipped edges, where a portion of the metal blank was inadvertently trimmed away during production. These clipped planchets display curved or straight edges with missing sections of the design. A mild clip might barely touch the rim, offering a novelty value of around $20. Severe clips, removing significant portions of the design, can fetch well over $100, particularly in mint state. Rarely, collectors note a thin planchet on a 2001 nickel, producing a lighter strike with diminished relief. This underweight planchet, thinner than specification, interacts differently with the dies, sometimes resulting in a weaker impression of Monticello or Jefferson's profile. Although such coins still retain legal tender status, they excite error collectors who classify them as planchet anomalies. Prices here vary widely, commonly between $10 and $70 based on the degree of thinness and condition. Stories emerge from these discoveries. One collector recounted finding a faint double-die 2001 nickel at a laundromat, tucked away in a coin return slot. The breadth of the doubling across Jefferson's cheek impressed a local coin club, where the find earned a feature segment in their monthly bulletin. That single piece later found a new home in a specialized cabinet alongside rarer copperheads and flowing hair dollars, serving as a testament to the thrill of vigilant searching. Condition also intersects with provenance. Coins sourced from original mint state rolls often exhibit unparalleled surface preservation. A sealed Philadelphia mint bag from 2001, sold intact by a dealer in 2019, yielded multiple MS 65 and MS 66 examples, some bearing double dies. Collectors who acquired these rolls at face value found themselves with a treasure trove. That episode illustrates how roll hunting can still yield surprises, even in modern coinage. Inspecting a 2001 nickel under ultraviolet light sometimes reveals trace contaminants embedded during striking. Minute grease spots or dye lube smudges, invisible to the naked eye, fluoresce under UV. Collectors photographing these under specialized lighting document the uniqueness of each error. With that, the tale of the 2001 USA Jefferson nickel unfolds from a humble piece of copper-nickel alloy into a focal point of numismatic fascination. Every detail, from die cracks to planchet anomalies, carries potential value for the right collector. Watch closely when sifting through change. You might just slip into your palm a coin with a story waiting to be told. With the echoes of the 2001 nickel's hidden stories still ringing in your mind, shifting focus to the 1977 Jefferson nickel opens a window into an era when change jingling in pockets carried its own surprises. The 1977 issue stands at a crossroads of design continuity and minting evolution, and even after nearly half a century, error varieties and condition rarities keep experienced collectors on their toes. In 1977, the United States Mint continued its run of Jefferson nickels, a series that began in 1938. This particular year saw production at both the Philadelphia and Denver facilities, and while the design remained faithful to Schlag's original portrait and Monticello reverse, the press operations of the late 1970s introduced opportunities for curious anomalies. Struck on the same copper-nickel blanks as their predecessors, these coins reflect the mechanical precision and occasional unpredictability of mid-century coining technology. At first glance, a 1977 nickel features Jefferson's profile facing left, the word Liberty arching above, and the date sitting just beneath his chin. Flip it over and Monticello's stately facade greets you. E pluribus unum, arching overhead, and the mint mark, when present, nestled to the right of the building's base. In Philadelphia pieces, the absence of a mint mark contrasts with Denver's small d, and each location's output reveals its own spectrum of quality and error rates. A primary source of excitement lies in doubled dies. Unlike the subtle doubling seen on modern strikes, the 1977 doubled die obverse can present as ghostly but distinct echoes of the letters in Liberty or the serifs on the date numerals. In extreme cases, the secondary image separates by a hairline, creating an arresting visual that draws the eye even through light circulation wear. Collectors hunting these varieties often scrutinize large lots of change under loupe and light, searching for that telltale duplication. Denison die work patterns produced multiple double die varieties in 1977. One well-documented error features doubling on the BL of Liberty, coupled with a faint echo along the lower rim. In mint state examples, this variety exhibits crisp outlines that jump out under 5x magnification. Auction houses occasionally list these as DDO 001 through DDO 004, based on the Pittsburgh die doubling classification, and introductory examples graded MS 63 with this error can start around $50. Moving beyond doubling, off-center strikes on 1977 nickels yield dramatic visuals. A 15% off-center might clip Monticello's roof, while a more extreme 50% misalignment can display only Jefferson's profile. As the strike axis shifts, negative space encroaches on the design, and the resulting incomplete image amplifies collector excitement. Condition here is key. A well-struck off-center in MS 65 can command several $100s, whereas a heavily circulated example might still fetch $50 to $100 for the novelty alone. Die cracks also carve their own narratives across 1977's 5-cent pieces. A fine fissure stretching from the edge through Jefferson's hairline tells a story of a die pressed well past its ideal lifespan. Collectors categorize these as key die crack positions, A, B, or C, each associated with a mapping of the die surface. One noted specimen displayed a crack bisecting Monticello's front columns, making it a sought-after variety that sold at a regional show for nearly $75 in XF, extremely fine, condition. Planchet anomalies play their part too. Some 1977 nickels appear on slightly underweight blanks, resulting in weaker strikes where Jefferson's cheek and Monticello's dome lack full relief. These underweight planchets are rare and often accompany a softer overall strike, giving the coin a ghostly appearance. Collectors who prize planchet errors value these specimens in the $20 to $80 range, depending on the strength of the anomaly and preservation. An often overlooked feature lies in repunched mint marks. On Denver pieces, faint doubling or repositioning of the D above Monticello serves as a tiny record of the mint mark punch's journey. These RPMs, repunched mint marks, can display slight shifts left or right, or even above the rim. A clear RPM, one variety might increase a 1977 D nickel's value by $20 in circulated grades, with MS 64 examples reaching over $50. Market records illustrate spikes in interest when specialist dealers highlight these varieties. In 2015, a PCGS MS 66 1977 D blended die error, combining doubling on In God We Trust with a prominent die crack, sold for $225 at heritage auctions, eclipsing initial estimates. Such high-profile sales galvanized the collecting community, prompting renewed searches through pocket change, rolls, and dealer bags. Collectors share anecdotes of discovering error nickels in unlikely places. One retiree recalled finding a notable off-center 1977 P nickel in a jar of Jared coins intended for groceries. The coin's unbalanced strike caught his eye during sorting, leading to a valuation of $120 after professional grading. These stories remind enthusiasts that even seemingly mundane change retains an element of surprise. Condition tiers for 1977 nickels fall into familiar ranges: G for good through MS 70 perfect. A typical circulated 1977 Philadelphia nickel in VF, very fine, might trade for 10 to 20 cents unless it bears a distinct error. In contrast, an MS 65 full bands example, indicating fully defined horizontal bands on Monticello's dome, can list for $30 to $50 as a no-error key date for modern Jefferson nickels. Auction databases reveal that full band specimens with additional doubling or other errors command the highest premiums. A PCGS MS 66 FB full bands DDO 003 sold for $180 in 2022, reflecting a growing appreciation for well-documented modern errors. Meanwhile, raw examples, those ungraded, often appear at lower price points on online marketplaces, with buyers weighing the risk of undisclosed condition issues. The provenance of high-grade nickels can influence final prices. Coins sourced directly from original mint sets or rolls often exhibit superior surface preservation. A sealed 1977 mint set discovered in an attic sale yielded a matching set of MS 67 and MS 68 nickels, some with faint die doubling, sparking a flurry of bids that closed above $300. Such finds reinforce the allure of unbroken original packaging for modern coin series. Collectors debate the relative rarity of Philadelphia versus Denver-era varieties for 1977. While Denver's output historically shows a slightly higher frequency of doubling errors, Philadelphia pieces are prized for their scarcity of mistakes, making any discovered doubling on a no-mint mark 1977 P all the more precious. This dynamic fuels targeted searches. Some focus on Philadelphia rolls, others on Denver mint bags. Historically, 1977 stood at a moment when coin roll hunting surged in popularity. The rise of internet auction platforms in the early 2000s connected collectors globally, creating demand for modern-era coins like 1977 nickels. Social media groups now buzz with photos of newly discovered die cracks or clipped planchets, each post inspiring others to sift through jars of pocket change in hopes of unearthing similar treasures. Storytelling around these coins often emphasizes the tactile thrill of discovery. One collector described the moment when a faint notch on the rim of a 1977 D nickel hinted at an off-center strike. Under magnification, the dramatic misalignment revealed itself. The ensuing rush of verification, professional grading, and eventual sale created memories vivid enough to rival the hunt for much older rarities. In summary, the 1977 Jefferson nickel offers a rich tapestry of possibilities. Double dies that dance on the lettering, off-center strikes that slice Monticello in half, die cracks that map the mint's wear, and planchet quirks that whisper of production minutiae. Condition remains the master variable, elevating humble 5-cent pieces into prized specimens that command hundreds in specialist auctions. For seasoned collectors and those still sifting through jars of change, the 1977 nickel stands as a testament to the thrill of discovery hidden in plain sight.